Hello, and welcome to another installment of Our Stardew Life. This is the third and hopefully final installment of our tree cutting prep for the chicken coop. The past 2 weekends we have been felling trees with some gate crushing problems within. And today, what we're focused on is clearing out not all the trees. There's no way we're going to get through processing all the firewood today. Turning all these trees into usable, burnable pieces. But what we're at least going to do is get all the wood out of the coop area so we can get this fence rebuilt. Now, I know in previous videos I had noted that we were going to use the white shed-like coop for the chickens this year, and the main reason we're getting these trees down was just so that when we dropped them, there was no chance of them dropping on the white shed once the chickens were in place. But I have changed my mind. We've decided that we're going to use the brown wood coop, as it already has nesting boxes for the chickens to sit in. It's got several wooden bars across the top in various angles for them to perch on. It's just a better coop in general. So right now, I've got my little electric chainsaw, little plug-in one, that came with a pole saw attachment. The reason I've got this one is it's a lot easier to maneuver through the thick brush. Also, the electric chainsaw gives a more rapid start and stop, which is, in my opinion, just safer than trying to deal with the pull chain gas chainsaw for this many starts and stops as we're cutting small branches and moving things around. Now, I decided today to get the children to help out with this. Not only does this help them to feel more involved in the setup process, but looking back on my own childhood, I would have absolutely loved to be able to, join in with my dad on this sort of thing. And I feel like it gives a good sense of work ethic, letting the kids, help out. Now, I'm not going to get them to do anything dangerous. Their safety is paramount, but beyond their safety, the next thing is their development. And getting these two to help out has been great. The middle child and the youngest child both were out here, and they stayed out with me for the duration of the entire setup. Now, this altogether took us about 5 hours to get through, so a lot of the footage is sped up quite a bit, and there's bits of footage that we have, cut out as well, just for the sake of time. While I finish up moving this wood out of the way to get ready to start putting the fence post back in and putting the fence back in place, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you who are out there watching, the people who are commenting on the videos. That engagement really does help the channel to reach a broader audience and help the channel grow. I need a hammer. Yes, I am well aware of the irony of using a log as a hammer while holding a hammer in my other hand. But as I just noted there, this hammer was nowhere near heavy enough to actually impart the force I needed it to. So I just wound up slamming it with everything I got, everything I could find that seems to be hammer-like in shape.
Yeah.
I even grabbed a small slab of concrete that shattered into pieces as soon as I slammed it down. But this, you know, log on a stick really was the winner. Got us deep enough, I hope.
Hopefully, that is sturdy enough for a fence. I'll grab it.
But it's not low enough.
Huh?
It's not low enough.
None of them are all the way in. So, we have a post back in. It's leany, but it's better than the previous one was, slightly. Going to try and hammer up the gate again to get it level. Might have to prop it with some rocks and some wood. I'm gonna want to redo this entire fence at some point soon. But for now, I need something to get the chickens into. They're getting too big for the workshop. So it's time for them to come outside, and for that, I need the gate back up, or the fence back up. So, I'm gonna get that done now. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah. All right, here's hoping this goes well.
So, while I am sitting here just, you know, leaning against the fence post, trying to look all stylish, what I'm actually doing is getting the child to run to the car real quick and fetch me something. I had left a rope in the back of the car that I had picked up from the store earlier that day. So what my plan is to wrap the rope around the post and then tie it off in a tree in the opposite direction. Here comes the child now. So that's what I'll be doing here, is I'm going to be taking this rope and wrapping around the post and trying desperately to tie it off on a tree and pull it tight enough to hold the post straight, or at least reasonably straight, and then we can reinforce the bottom to hold it in place. Because what had happened is the hole that the post was in got a bit warped. So we're going to backfill that with some bits of brick and dirt and stone to keep everything level. Now, if you're hearing the odd hammer sound in the background while I'm doing this voiceover, you're not imagining things. That's not me hammering in the original video. We've actually got people redoing our roof here at the homestead. The roof was over 40 years since it's last been done. Most of the wood underneath was dry rotted, and they're working on the roof. Unfortunately, there's not really any time for me to avoid letting them work on the roof, so that's just what I'm stuck with right now. But here we are. We've got the post mostly straight. Just, as I said, hammering in some stones into that to wedge it in place, and then it's just a matter of grabbing the fence, laying it out, stretching the fence to the post, and securing it. And then we'll have a fence back in place for the chickens. The gate also needs to be rebuilt, but that is a separate part. Which, unfortunately, spoiler alert, I didn't get any footage of me fixing the gate because I brought it into the workshop and left my camera out in the field.
What?
It's funny because they just fall out.
this one, but I need it out of the way for a minute. So I have access to this post with the clamps.
Yeah. Did I tell you that the mouse is just completely gone?
Oh, no you didn't.
It just vanished into thin air. Not even bones were left.
So what we're doing here now is with these clamps, I am attaching the clamps to the post. Then I am hooking the clamp to the fence and using it to pull the fence tighter to the post. And then as I do, I move another square over and pull it that much further. The goal being to pull the fence nice and tight in front of the posts so that I can nail it in place. It took some time, and it definitely took a little bit more fiddling to get it started than I would have liked, but once we got it going, this actually was a really effective way to pull the fence slowly in front of the post and get it where we wanted. As you can see now, we're moving on to the next of the loops, so we have to extend it, hook it across, and then start tightening it, which, if you watch really closely, you can see the metal links are actually now pulling in front of the post up at the top. We just gotta do the same with the bottom now, and then we'll be ready to start securing this. There are a lot of proper tools to do jobs and make our lives easier. But just because you don't have the right tool for the job, doesn't mean you can't improvise with the tools you have on hand.
Alright, so we do not have the appropriate... Okay, so I don't have any more of these little hoopy staples. So I'm going to try to pull out the ones that are in here. But if I can't, I'm going to take an idea the child had. She said they looked like just bits of the wire curved. So I'm going to grab bits of the wire and curve it. Let's see what we can do. Well, you can play, just don't play with anything we're working on right now, Emmy. I don't want you to get hurt. Haha! Progress! Progress has been made. Let's try this again and watch where it goes this time. Okay, I know it bounced off of here and then came back down. Where did it go? Well, that's 3 bits of metal I lost. Let's try for big ol' number 4. Again, no idea where it went. It just poof. The amount of tension I have to put on one of these to cut through them, when they finally release, they fire off like a bullet. Well, one of them fired your way, one of them fired this way, and 2 of them fired straight down. Found one. All right. See if I can appropriately bend it. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing.
I wasn't even here.
I don't know. I didn't put it there. I think you're right. I think these might just be made of bent wire.
Oh, there's a spider on that one.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not. Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Still on there. It's just hanging. Hanging around.
Hanging around downtown, moving fast, being a spider. Here he is. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, he's on the ground now.
Okay. I need a lot more than that.
With the middle post, since I didn't have any more of the large, thick staples, I just grabbed some
There we go. That should be enough.
wire and was using it to wrap around the post, twist it to tie it in place, just to secure it temporarily. Now, I did come back a couple days later after picking up some staples with my air compressor and staple gun and secured this fence much more rigidly with a lot of staples. I stapled the crap out of it. But this at least held it in place well enough for today to suit our needs with what we had available, because I forgot to pick up staples when I was in town, and I wasn't going all the way town just for some staples.
All right, so it's dinner time now, and we didn't manage to. Come here, buddies. So it's dinner time now. We got the fence fixed, and we got the gate rebuilt, and we're in the process of just taking the guys to their new home, guys and gals. Now that being said, we ran into a wee bit of a problem. What you doing?
Really bad at doing her job.
Children are having a bit of a spat, but the holes in the coop fence are slightly too big. The chickens can squeeze through them. So tomorrow I'm gonna pick up some cheap plastic chicken wire just to zap onto the metal for now until they're too big to get through, and then we'll be good to go. What's wrong, Emily? What are you doing?
Just making sure no one go out.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna put this one down.
Don't
Ooh.
flap your wings too big.
It can flap if it wants.
I was saying it's too big.
Come on, down you go. No, that's the wrong way.
I can't.
Oh, careful. But we're slowly getting them through. We got currently 6 of the 12 in. Fresh food, fresh water.
Whoop.
We're bringing them in one at a time. We still have a lot of tree to clear, but we at least got out of the coop area. The coop area has been set up. That's where I had the water until we realized that these holes are slightly too small. She is allowed to touch them if she wants to, Jada.
Yeah, well, she's gonna let them out.
No, she's not. It's fine. I'm right here. As you can see, kids don't always get along, but
Emily, I said close the door more.
keep the door closed. All the way.
I literally told her
All the way, kiddo.
that it's
If it won't close all the way, that means the hay's in the way. You got to clear the hay. Use your hands if you can't get it with your foot. Hand. Use hand. You can wash your hands when you're done. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. It's just a little hay. All right. But we need to be able to close the door, okay? So your job is to clear out the doorway of any hay that you left behind. Trying to get all the kiddos involved in this process.
really warm.
Yeah, they generate their own body heat, just like us. But yeah, so once this is all said and done, my workshop will once again be just my workshop. Well, come on, buddies. Come here. Come on. Ah. Come on. They're fast little buggers. Trying to grab them left-handed is probably not the easiest thing in the world. Well, it's definitely not the easiest. Look at that wingspan on this roo. And I say roo because look at underneath the jaw. Its wattles coming in. It's got its comb on its head, but look at those wattles under the chin. This is...
Is that another male?
This is definitely a male. Look at those wattles. Unless that's a cut. It is, that's the wattles. Yeah, you're one of our roos. You're our buff boy, Buff Orpington boy, yeah. Come on, roo boy, we're going. You'll be fine. Once I get there with a chicken, yes. What did the stick ever do to you? So, as you will notice, I got the lower half of the fence in. I haven't got the top half rewired in yet, just because time was a issue. I haven't fixed that post. It's still holding for now, but I will fix that at a later date. And I need to, you know, tighten up where the fence is drooping in places. The bottom half of the fence is all that really matters for the chickens until I build a roof on it. I do plan on eventually putting a roof on this enclosure so that the chickens are protected from sky predators as well as ground predators. In you go. Nope, in, not out. Go on. It's going, Emmy, it's fine.
I was just making sure.
They want to go where their food is, right? They like their food, they like their water. So as long as we go to put their food and water in there, they will be happy in there. But that's where I'm gonna wrap up today's video. It's been a busy day, but a productive day. I gave myself 2 weekends to fill the... I gave myself 2 weekends to fell the trees and 1 weekend to get the coop ready for the chickens. And here we are, weekend 3 of this task, and we're finishing. So, on schedule, which is good. But we're gonna get the last of these birds out. They are a bit violent. Oh.
Oh my god, bro.
I got it. There we go. You got the last one? All right. So with this, all the chickens are going to the new coop. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.